just like.
How long have you been in carbonation?
I've been in carbonation for about a year and a half.
Year and a half. What have you learned since you've been here?
That I'm a negative person, that I can think negative, that I can use my mind to support a demon stream, that I can be a demonic person, that I can be an individual that brings the energy down in the room or bring the
Allow it to happen.
I don't allow it to happen, but I understand we're going through generational curses. I understand that it's 400 years and it's something that's been perpetual over these 400 years. And I see it and I'm like, okay, I acknowledge it. Like, I acknowledge it there. I could have just easily got an attitude with you and walked away and said, I don't want to do this interview and I don't want to do it. But instead, I started to communicate. I started to get out of it. I started to feel it. And I started to say, you know what? I do feel this way. I do feel like, a little antsy, a little anxious. Like, I don't care what these people think about me anyway. It's about facing your demons. It's about facing what you go through.
Facing your fears.
And that's something that is not easy, but you got to do it. You got to go through it. Like you're going to just don't want to communicate anything that you're going through. But you have to push yourself through it. You have to utilize the knowledge that has been given to you and be like, I'm going to use this and I'm going to get out of it.
Do you teach the knowledge in carbonation?
I do.
Where at?
On Instagram.
How much do you teach it?
I don't teach it as much as I suppose, because sometimes I can get caught up in my fears about my communicating style or how I come off, or I may not say this right, or I may repeat the same words over and over, and that can stop me from teaching the knowledge sometimes. So
you fail at communicating?
I don't feel like communicating. I actually have an aspect of my chart that so it's a
So why haven't you been able to do it as much as you're supposed to?
Because of fear and doubts.
Fears about what?
The way I come off, the way I talk, the way I speak. I'm a Pisces, so I can come off like I can speak gibber jabber. Sometimes I can stumble over my words and they may not come off right, and people may not understand me or take it the right way, so they may judge. I may feel like someone is judging me, or I may feel like someone is talking about me bad, or not acknowledging that. Okay, maybe she's a Pisces, maybe she don't speak that well, but okay, she's trying. I don't know. Sometimes I don't view people like that. I view people like they're going to judge me or some sort.
Why does it matter what other people think about you?
Because I want to be acknowledged for my gifts and my talents. But I guess I'm but from who though? From what person though? Myself. It doesn't matter, because the only thing that matters is what I feel about myself. Self-esteem. It's my self-esteem. And I get that. And sometimes I could want attention from others, and I want that acknowledgement from others, and others to be like, yeah, you did good. Like, I like that. Like, keep going. Like, damn, you dope. Like, I want that in there. We all do. Like, that's what you want Vigo for. You want attention. You want to be acknowledged. You want someone to be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, I see you. That's what everyone wants. But from who?
So do you think if you proclaim the kingdom more, you'll be better at speaking?
Yeah.
When are you going to overcome the fears so you can...
I mean, today is the day. Like, there's no other day to not overcome your demons, because we're in the moment. Life is in the moment. Like, there's no...
Do you think that your personality was connected to your medical history? Personality affects your health, your physical health.
This is the way you think, is your natal chart, is your Mercury, is your moon, how you feel, how you communicate, is your is the way you look at people, is the way you look at situations, is the way you perceive situations, it's the way you use your mind. How do you perceive this? this energy that's coming toward you? How did you utilize your mind to think in that moment? Like, it's all of that. And why I was in hospital, because I used my mind in a negative way. I've always dealt with situations wrong. I've always dealt with situations. I've either shut down. I've either not had an outlet. I've walked away. I've ran away. I've stormed out the door. I've shut down the people that was trying to help me. I've shut down Baba G. I've shut down.
So Baba G's tried to help you?
Yeah.
And you shut him down?
Yeah.
Who else has tried to help you in life?
I can even say in my lower self. People in my lower self tried to help me, and I've even went against them. I would say my Babylon sisters, I try to fight them all the time. They would always try to help me. I always try to fight them because I thought they were trying to do something negative to me or something bad to me, or they was
So you're defensive. You're defensive.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your sisters, growing up with your sisters. How was that for you? Are these your older sisters?
Yeah, they are my older sisters. It was like a regular, like I would say that I got treated okay. I had a home, I had food, I had clothes on my back, I had shelter, lights, water. They bought me things. Once I, began to go to school, and that's what the problem started. I got in trouble a lot. I got in trouble by teachers, detentions, behavioral suspensions, phone call homes. All of these things I've got because of my attitude and my defensiveness.
So you were negative.
I would say yes, but I wasn't as much because I could find ways to cut people off and just deal with myself. So I would say not really, but yeah, I could say that.
So you have a problem with interacting with others. Would you say that?
Yes, yeah, I feel that, yeah.
Because it makes you have to interact with your own emotions. With your own emotions and dealing with them. You feel like you're hypersensitive.
I'm very hypersensitive. See? Very.
What do you feel when you walk into a room full of people?
And I feel the emotions, feel the intensity, the pressures, the angers. Feel you. I can acknowledge your pain. I can acknowledge your worries. It feels like it becomes me sometimes, and it can be overwhelming. It can be. I can become very, very tired and sleepy and drained and depressed and depleted of my energy because I'm taking on a lot of what everyone else is going through. And sometimes I have to isolate and go off and get my feeling. I can acknowledge your pain. I can acknowledge your worries. And it feels like it becomes me sometimes, and it can be overwhelming. It can be. I can become very, very tired and sleepy and drained and depressed and depleted of my energy because I'm taking on a lot of what everyone else is going through. And sometimes I have to isolate and go off and get a lot of times because dealing with people sometimes can be overwhelming for me. It can be too much. Like, I'm a projector. Projectors, they take the energy from their environment and they express that energy. But sometimes taking on all that energy can be too much.
Would you consider yourself an empath?
Yeah.
So groups of people make you nervous.
Not groups of people, because I'm still I'm still an innovator. Like, I'm still here to teach and knowledge yourself and be a part of the group. This is the age of Aquarians. I'm here to be spiritual. I'm here to, express the mystics of life, the spiritual part of life. So being around people, being around spiritual groups, I can understand my individuality apart from the group, set aside from the group, but I can still feel the anxiety of being with a group. Sometimes, like, I can still feel like the antsiness, the anxiousness, like, I can still feel that.
Too many energies.
Yeah.
Bombarding you at once.
Yeah, yeah. It says in my projector, um, energies that I need to learn how to deal with people one on one instead of many people at one time. It has to be a one on one relationship at different times. It cannot be he truly needs because of his black man. Like give him that. Like and I just want to thank the energy for coming into my life and treating me as the queen I'm supposed to be, and he's the king that he is. Because he's developed all his women, he deserves that. He deserves all the love and all the praise that the world should give.
I hear a lot of negative about him.
You hear a lot of negative about him because people online they negative. That's our lower self. They have to shed the light on the negative situations because they don't know who they are. They look at the negative and amplify the negative so no one can come to the knowledge. So no one can receive the knowledge or hear the knowledge or hear what Baba Ji have to say because they're negative. They're going to see what's in you. They see that they see the part that what's in them they see in you. So if they see I took a drink and I started crying.
So you're doing so good. You're doing so good. I got some questions for you. Okay. I got some questions for you.
Oh my God. Okay.
Talk to me about coming into carbonation and the process.
The process was when I was trying to find myself. I was trying to find myself in Babylon. I was trying to figure out, what was this life? What are we doing here? Like I used to go to work and I used to look at everyone like, what are we doing? Like, why are we coming to this status? Like, why can't we all achieve this, position? And I was thinking to myself, like, we all over here working for someone else. Why can't we work for ourselves? And so when I did that and when I seen that, I started to look at my reality different. I started to see different. I started to feel different. I started to look at everybody like they used to be happy and so excited to go to work. Like, oh my God, girl, I got this. And I texted them and I was like, I want to join your family.
What was the first time you contacted Baba Ji and why? What made you want to contact him?
Because of his lifestyle. He was actually living in nature. He was polygamous at the time. And I just loved the way, he spoke the knowledge and what he was teaching. And I love the way he spoke the knowledge and what he was teaching. It was like,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just love, what he was teaching, the way he was teaching it, and the energy behind it. And plus, he was in nature. He had all these beautiful women around him, and he had women that was actually getting along with each other. And I was like, telling my family, I was like, I'm about to go in nature. This man is police. I'm going in nature, and I'm eating fruit off the trees, and I'm gonna just be, grounded to the earth. Like I was so excited, and they was looking at me like, what? Huh? Okay, all right. And so after that, I contacted him, and then that's when I started to go in my background and ground. I used to connect to the sun. I used to look at the trees, and the trees used to talk to me. I used to be isolated.
Wait, you said the trees were talking to you?
And so I took that guidance and I did it. And I was always isolated by myself. I didn't go to work. I quit my job. One day I was actually about to go to work. And I called Baba Ji. He was like, what you think I should do? I'm about to go to work right now. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. And then he was like, no, don't go to work. Go back home. I was like, what you mean go back home? I don't know what to do. What else was to tell my family? He was like, you better figure it out. I'll help you. And I was like, dang. So I went into Walmart's bathroom and I made a video. I was like, you have to let go of all your attachments to enter the kingdom of God. Like you cannot enter the kingdom of God with all
Baba Ji coerced you.
Yes, he guided me. He
coerced you into
actually leaving
your job at Walmart.
No. I wanted to do that for myself. he just was the seed that was planted and said, you know what, I think you should do this in order for you to start your journey and start your spiritual journey and get on your path and regain your purpose. And he was that seed that was planted and grew in my mind. I was like thinking, like, you're right, like I have to let this go, because in my heart, my soul was not connected to that reality. It felt like a reality that if I stayed there, everything would shatter, everything would crumble to pieces, everything would not work out. I felt that in my heart, and I was like, I have to go. And I also had a Babylon son that I left behind, because as I was going on this journey, I was missing mistakes, I was missing details, I was missing, I was like,
wait a minute.
I just was be a straight shooter.
Okay. Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Take it.
Am I all over the place?
It's okay. Can someone refresh my drink? The energy is really high.
Is that bad?
No, it's just you're a very intense person. It's very good, very beautiful, actually, very powerful.
Be a straight shooter.
Okay. Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Take it.
Am I all over the place?
It's okay. Can someone refresh my drink? The energy is really high.
Is that bad?
No, it's just you're a very intense person. It's very good, very beautiful, actually, very powerful.